Bet you can't call me Coby.
I bet you I can. Challenge is accepted. To clone you, I had to figure out exactly where you were. I saw you lick the basketball hoop, and in the background it said Irwin. I typed Irwin on Google Maps, and it came up with the Hotel Irwin in Venice Beach, California, right across from the basketball court. I took my cloning kit in my hand and drove straight to the basketball court. I also brought with me a 5-foot ladder so I could reach the top of the rim and swab your DNA. With the ladder in one hand and my cloning kit in the other, I started to find the way to the basketball hoop. The area this basketball hoop was in was called Venice Beach. It is over 2 miles long, so I knew it was gonna be a far walk to the basketball court. Venice Beach has 16 million visitors a year. It is Los Angeles, California's most popular tourist destination. As I'm walking trying to find the basketball court, I see so many different shops. It is a beautiful spot. Then finally, out of the corner of my eye, I see the basketball court. Now the hard part was trying to find out exactly which hoop you licked. I then started inspecting each and every hoop. I didn't care if someone was playing. I needed to find your DNA. The first hoop was not the one that you licked, so I started walking across the court to the next one. This one almost looked like the one that you licked, but I reviewed the footage 2 times and it showed the one you licked was actually in the corner of the basketball court. So I walked straight to the next basketball court, and these kids were playing basketball. Unfortunately, I had to walk through their game so I could see the hoop and the rim. But that one was not the one that you licked. I kept walking and finally found the basketball hoop that you licked. After being 100% sure, I set up my ladder and it was time to swab your DNA. Safety is always first, so I made sure the ladder was sturdy and in a good spot. I then climbed up the ladder to the top step so I could reach the top rim. And I swabbed your DNA right off the side of the basketball rim, using a circular scientific motion so I don't miss any pieces of DNA. After I was 100% sure I had enough, I took your DNA and put it in a chemical grade tube. I then securely fastened the DNA inside the tube. And for an extra level of security, I put it in my bulletproof casing. I closed up the case and went back to my laboratory in Los Angeles so I could clone you. Back at my laboratory, I opened up your DNA from my casing. I made sure there was no damage done while on the move back to the laboratory. I took the chemical grade tube out the case and my assistant handed me an agar plate. I put your DNA Q-tip inside the agar plate. And my other assistant handed me cytochrome 437 solution. I completely soaked your DNA in the solution and put it underneath my $10,000 microscope. After a few adjustments, I was able to see in the DNA, and I even had my assistants check it out. You can see what we're looking at right here is the DNA. I circled it. You can see it moving along perfectly, ready to be cloned. Yellow is the bad DNA. The purple is the good DNA. That's how you can tell. My assistant then handed me chemical grade tweezers. I then extracted your DNA Q-tip from the agar plate and placed it inside a graduated cylinder. I then put H1375 solution right on top until the DNA Q-tip was fully engulfed in the solution. I then waited 48 hours and the color was perfect. I then placed the dark red solution into the agar plate. After I poured more than I needed, I took the agar plate and placed it inside my DNA oven, otherly known as a lab. I put the oven on 400 degrees, let it stay inside for over 2 weeks until it was a thick gel substance. Now it was time to streak your agar plate. Those white bubbles are the DNA ready to be cloned inside my incubator. That's you after 4 weeks old, and soon I will have an NBA player for myself.